Get cool stuff for what you were going to do anyway. Drink beer. With Buy Beer, Get Gear from Labatt, you can just snap a photo of your receipt and upload it to the website to rack up points for exclusive merch. Get points for every purchase, whether you're grabbing a pint on draft, a case for a party, or a tall boy at the stadium. Any size, any product, anywhere you buy Labatt. Buy beer, get gear. Sign up now at rewards.labattusa.com.
Yo.
Now, stand back for your own safety.
Steve, what's up?
Congrats on the win.
Thanks, Steve. Where Paulie at?
Here we go.
I'm checking out. I will respond to you, but I'm done for the week. I'm done.
Steve is my favorite part of the show. How's that?
I like that. Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Check for sound.
Pleasure to be on there talking with Paulie, man. He's a good dude.
I'm an idiot. I'll just shut up and let you talk. I was trying to help.
And shout out to Tupac.
3, 2, 1, and
This is Orange Nation.
Well, hello, Paulie and Steve.
With Stephen Fonte and Paulie Sibilia.
Check it out.
Good afternoon, everyone. Glad to have you with us alongside Paulie Sibilia. I'm Stephen Fonte as we welcome you into a Wednesday edition of Orange Nation. We're going to be joined right off the top of the show by Anish Shroff, lacrosse play-by-play man for ESPN. He was on the call of all 4 quarterfinal games last weekend. We'll get his thoughts on Cuse heading into the Final Four. And then coming up in the second hour, Bryce Gellman, host of Knicks for Clicks. He'll join us at 1 o'clock to talk about what was just truly an epic come-from-behind win by the Knicks yesterday.
That was wild.
Down 22, under 8 minutes to go. They force overtime. They win it in overtime. Jalen Brunson, absolutely unstoppable down the stretch of that game.
They have a team of destiny feel to them. I don't know if they're good enough to beat one of the Western teams, but they have that team of destiny feel to them.
Yeah, played great down the stretch and somehow came back from down 22 to win that game in overtime. A couple of SU basketball nuggets we should pass along before we get started here. Iker Matinez, he is a 7-footer from Mexico, played last year in Arizona. He has committed to the Orange. 7-footer. Other offers included High Point, Sacramento State, Cal State Northridge, among others.
Whoa.
And we'll talk about this, as the show moves along. And also Syracuse basketball set to play, according to John Rothstein, finalizing the agreement to play Rutgers at the Barclays Center. You and I were talking about...
Yeah, we were pretty close on that one, Steve.
We projected or predicted, maybe Seton Hall at Barclays. Instead, it's going to be Rutgers at Barclays, but we were right there. We were right there with that prediction.
And that's not, that's a good game. It's fine. Let's go.
Yeah, another neutral site opportunity.
Yeah, everybody's like, wow, we beat out Northridge. Thanks. Yeah, guys, we'll break down the roster. You guys, everybody's panicking.
Yeah, listen, everybody's side's not going to be a starter, and you can't teach height, and you can't have too much size on your team. So, he's
and they have a big man coaching this year, Steve. So all of the centers will be great.
Right, and you're not going to be relying on him to be, a key piece to the puzzle. It seems like he's a depth piece. It's certainly at this stage you expect anybody you add is going to be a depth piece, and off you go. So we'll talk more about all this SU basketball stuff as things move along.
How'd you sleep last night?
I did okay. How about you?
I'm all right.
Yeah,
I was up late watching the Padres choke one. That was bad loss last night for my Pods.
Yeah, I didn't see how that game ended.
Mason Miller. Yeah. Either one of them could have gotten the Aaron Miller or Ty France, but it was a bad loss. 9th inning. But life goes on. It's a long season, and I think Syracuse fans are panicking over the roster, Steve, and we'll get to that after we talk to Anish, but I think everybody's like, well, there's no star and the NIL isn't good enough. Well, yeah, welcome on the NIL train that we've been on for 3 years that you guys all yelled at us for talking about.
Well, it's funny, right? You see the tweets now that say, like, how is this a top third,
NIL team.
NIL roster
We've been saying that for 3 years, guys.
Right. And then people get mad at us. Why are you talking about NIL?
Making excuses.
It's coaching. It's not NIL.
And it was coaching also, but...
Yeah. But NIL was a big factor.
Yeah, the roster is a problem. I think everybody's underselling Gavin Doty's value also. We'll get into that. I think we're waiting on Anish right now. We'll get into that.
Yeah. We're going to talk some lacrosse here with Anish. The season's winding down, and, we had Finn Thompson on yesterday, and he said that the goal all along has been extend this season as long as possible, get to that last weekend, and then we'll see what happens. And they have gotten back to this last weekend, and I think they learned a thing or two along the way from what happened last year. They got to the semifinals last year, got the monkey off their back, ended the drought, and multiple guys on this team, multiple seniors, have talked about the fact that they were fat and happy is the phrase that they keep using, that they were just happy to be there. Billy Dwan said they laid an egg against Maryland last year, which I think, SU fans would agree with, and now they're back, and they seem laser focused, and they learned a few things along the way, and now they hope to have a different outcome on Saturday in the national semis. Is now, as promised, pleased to be joined by Anish Shroff from ESPN. Anish, thanks so much for coming. I know you're a busy man, so we'll jump right to it. What was, in your mind, ultimately the determining factor of that win over North Carolina on Saturday?
The seniors.
Yeah.
The seniors. Dwan making the play along the sidelines. Spolina with some big moments late. The senior class stepped up. The senior class is the story with Syracuse, and you can tell they're motivated, they're driven, as you were just saying. They have put it on themselves this year to bring this program to the mountaintop, and I thought late in that game they were the difference.
How much does the legacy change? And I'm sure you've gotten that legacy question quite a bit over the last several weeks, and Joey Spolina in particular, right? Because I don't think it can be overlooked where this program was when those guys arrived on campus. So I feel like in a lot of ways it's already mission accomplished, regardless of what happens from here on out, the fact they've gone to back-to-back Final Fours, given where the program was when they arrived. But how much does that legacy change for him and his fellow seniors if they ultimately get the job done on Monday?
It changes exponentially. If they don't win a championship, I think for the next few years we'll remember that class as having a nice run. They got Syracuse to back-to-back Final Fours. If the next wave builds off of that, I think we'll look back at that group fondly. But when you look at the history of Syracuse lacrosse, there's 11 national titles. This is their 29th Final Four. When you have that kind of history, that means you've had a lot of great teams and you've had a lot of great players. And for some schools, when you get to championship weekend, those teams will reunite every 5 years, every 10 years, every 20 years. At Syracuse, they do the reunions and the celebrations for teams that won a championship. You're always going to be captive to the prologue and to the history and the traditions and the legends that came before you. So is it fair to say it's championship or bust? Probably not. But in terms of the legacy piece, for this group to be remembered and remembered in perpetuity, I do think it requires a national championship.
And you look back on what happened at the end of that game, right? Carolina ties it at 10, and then as you just spoke about, the seniors basically said we're not going to lose this game. And Dwan had that great save, and Spolina had 2 goals in that 3-goal spurt, and Finn Thompson had the other, and Jimmy McCool came up big in net, and it was the seniors leading the way. How about the decision from Coach O'Derna to go zone coming out of that last timeout? And Carolina had got back within 2. They had just scored off a timeout. They had the ball, a chance to cut it to 1 with 90 seconds to go, whatever it was. How about that call from O'Derna to go zone?
It was interesting because O'Derna had been telling us for a few weeks, hey, if we see Carolina again, we've got a few things that we have not used in the first 2 meetings. We've got plan C, plan D, plan E. There's a few tricks left in the bag, zone being one of them. And again, part of it is they'd had trouble beating Jimmy McCool from the outside, right? Who's that stretch shooter who could be that guy? And, Petramala with Duffy limited, had kind of been taken away a little bit by Figueres. He's not really a Dodger. So I thought it was an interesting wrinkle only because I don't know if Carolina was expecting that because they really hadn't seen that in the first 2 meetings.
Before we get into the matchup with Notre Dame, you were on the call for all 4 quarterfinal games this past weekend. Anything else stand out to you from those other quarterfinals?
Well, I'll tell you this. Notre Dame's depth stood out. I do think they're the team, if they can get past Saturday, I do think they are the team best equipped to win on Monday just because of the depth. Now, weather's going to be interesting, and Syracuse and Notre Dame playing that second semifinal. If you've looked at the forecast, it's going to be cooler, which I do think helps a team that doesn't have a ton of depth like Syracuse. It's going to be cooler. The caveat is that winner of that late semifinal, that second semifinal, it's always felt like they're at a little bit of a disadvantage Monday. And if you have stoppages, thunder, lightning, that complicates things further. So weather's going to be something to watch. But Notre Dame's depth jumped out to me. The way Duke is playing offensively, they had that 4-game losing streak. They couldn't hit the cage. They were shooting 23% in that 4-game losing streak. They shot 40% plus against Georgetown, which is absurd. And their goalie's playing well, a guy who's only made 4 starts in his career. They have a championship defense in front of them. That has never been in question. And now a young offense that's attacking more from behind, that's being smarter, more efficient. Duke's dangerous. And for the first time, they're an underdog. Duke really has not been an underdog in a long, long time. Certainly in the Danowski era, most of the times they were favored to at least get to championship weekend. So they've embraced this underdog mentality. Hey, we're the old lady at the blackjack table. Doesn't matter what the dealer's showing. We can hit whenever we want, even if the math says otherwise. And they're playing like it, and they're playing loose. They're having fun, which makes them dangerous. Princeton's offense, their top 6, and then their second midfield, too. They get so much production from those guys. And then when, your D-middies like Miller and Jackson Green, who I thought had a phenomenal game, those guys can push transition. I think Princeton, with their face-off guy, McMeekin, he is streaky, but when he gets going, he can win 7-8 in a row. And Princeton all season has had this ability to put together these avalanche quarters. Well, they'll score 5, 6, 7 goals, and they'll put the game away. And you saw how they closed Penn State. Penn State was hanging right there without their best player, and then all of a sudden 5-0 run at the end of the game. Princeton, with its C-plus effort, beats Penn State by 4 goals in a quarterfinal. Awfully impressive.
Yeah, you talk about Notre Dame's depth. How about Syracuse? Syracuse's, I guess, lack of depth when it comes to the midfield. I mean, they essentially rode their first midfield that entire second half. How important is it for them to get something out of that second midfield unit on Saturday, as you said, especially if you win that game, to have something left in the tank for Monday?
Steve, I'm guessing you've probably been talking about that for half the season.
Yeah, for sure.
So can they get stuff in transition? Can Tyler McCarthy be a two-way threat like he was early in the year? Bogan had a goal in that quarterfinal game. Can he do something and give you a little punch? You look at a guy like McEntee, Kellogg. They need to find that secondary scoring. Even the man up, they were 0 for 6 with the extra man against North Carolina. When they have those opportunities, can they cash in? Is it Billy Dwan in transition? So I think finding goals outside of your top 6, that's something that usually comes into play on Monday when everybody's tired. They can get by without it on Saturday, although Notre Dame's a very tough opponent. But the teams that generally win on Monday, I'm not saying it's every year, but I've been doing this a long time, and you've followed this for a long time. It's usually the teams that have that second midfield. It's usually the teams that have that third, fourth, fifth D-midi, that third long stick midfielder where they can rotate guys in and keep them fresh and play for 4 quarters.
Yeah, so it's a really good point. I want to get your thoughts on this matchup. What does it come down to? And we saw them play less than a month ago. Regular season finale, it was close. Syracuse actually led at the half, and then Notre Dame pulled away down the stretch. What adjustments do you think Gary Gait needs to make, and what do you think this game ultimately comes down to?
Well, I think the one thing Syracuse has going for it right now, John Mullen seems to have figured it out. He's played really well the last 2 weeks, and he's looking more and more like the 2025 version. I've never seen somebody take Brady Wambach's lunch money the way John Mullen did in that quarterfinal game. Mullen's the best face-off guy in the country, and Mullen, especially in the first half, just dominated Wambach, and he was a big reason that Syracuse was able to pedal forward and be in that game. Wambach and Carolina had just been putting guys away. So if Mullen is in the 60% vicinity, certainly 55 plus, Syracuse is in really good shape. Notre Dame, had some success on faceoffs in that first meeting. So it starts there. Jimmy McCool has played really well in these first two games, north of 50% against a very good Yale offense and a very good Carolina offense. Richard Daly, who didn't have a great game that first meeting against Syracuse, but he might be the Kelly Award winner, and he's played really well throughout the course of the season. So you kind of have to match saves with Richard Daly a little bit. And McCool, I thought, played well in that Notre Dame game. He just saw a high volume of shots. So I look at McCool, I look at Mullen. Those are big X factors. And then offensively, Notre Dame is not a matchup-dependent offense. So everyone's going to make this about Sean Light and Joey Spallina. Yes, they'll be on each other a few times. But Notre Dame switches. And they're it's kind of like Florida State basketball. Like, it doesn't matter about matchups because the rotations are so good, the way they slide, the way they help, the way they hedge. It's such a good defensive system, and then they'll pack it in. And so what they do is they force you to beat Richard Daly from the outside. And historically, their goalies have all been able to stop outside shots. But can Luke Roa knock down a couple from the outside early? And maybe now you got to press out a little more. And that opens up things on the inside. That's going to be something to watch. The other thing to watch is, how do you beat Notre Dame? They force you and dare you to make the high-risk pass. The teams that have beat them, Virginia and Syracuse, over the last few years, are capable of that pass. Syracuse has one of the best passing teams in the country. We've seen them, the behind-the-back stuff, and it's got style, it's got flair, but they have guys who can thread the needle. You have to do that against Notre Dame, and you got to soften up that defense. So those are going to be things to watch. This is an Irish team. I was looking at the numbers, Steve. Since 2021, they're 23-7 against the ACC, and the ACC has been a juggernaut.
Pretty good.
Since then.
Yeah.
23-7. 5 of the losses are to Virginia. The other 2 were last year to Syracuse.
Interesting. Very interesting. You mentioned Joey Spallina, Sean Light there a moment ago. Does the Twarton come down to that matchup this game? Or is it between those two guys?
I don't know if it's between those two guys. I think right now Spallina has pulled away from the pack. Kabiri's been, good, but he wasn't really that much of a factor in the Penn State game. I just don't see them giving it to a defenseman. Light's interesting because he doesn't really have the numbers for a defenseman. He's not a takeaway guy. He matches feet and he can erase you. The numbers don't pop off, but again, if Spallina goes 0-0 and Notre Dame wins and then wins Monday and then he takes Kabiri away on Monday, maybe Sean Light gets it. But it's funny, you watch Notre Dame, and so often I've seen it, an attackman and even a really good one will get the ball isolated against Sean Light, and they're looking around like, okay, I want no part of this guy. And they just give it up. They don't even give him a chance to make a play. Yeah. So it's almost like having a Deion Sanders where we're not even going to throw to that side of the field. What Spallina, though, has been able to do the last few times, he's gotten Sean Light to play off ball. And they've used Spallina in the pick game. They've used him off ball. Look at the goals that he scored in the first meeting against Notre Dame. Kind of making Sean Light work off ball. Because if you're going to try to beat Sean Light as a Dodger, go home. But Spallina's found some success doing that.
And then lastly, Anish, just real quick, your thoughts on Lars Tiffany. What a run at Virginia, 10 years, 2 national titles, local guy from here in Lafayette. How surprised were you that that Virginia parted ways with him?
I got to be careful how I answer this. If I'm being completely honest, I wasn't all that surprised, just given some of the things that I had been hearing behind the scenes. A lot of that stuff has been said to me in confidence, so I'm not privy to share that publicly. But I would say this. I think that's a story worth monitoring because there's probably more there than meets the eye.
Gotcha. Okay. Listen, I know that you're awfully busy. We appreciate the time as always. We love tuning in to watch lacrosse and having you call it. Enjoy this weekend. I hope it all goes well. And, selfishly back here, we're hoping for a couple of Cuse wins.
All right, Steve. Appreciate you, man.
All right. Appreciate you. Anish Shroff joining us here on the show. And,
good job, Steve.
With that, we'll hit a timeout. We'll open up the phone lines, 315-437-7644. We're back after this on ESPN Radio.
Catch Sunday Night Baseball every Sunday night at 6:30 on ESPN Radio Syracuse.
If you've been injured or hurt in a car wreck, we think your case is a big deal. We think you deserve a big team that can take on big insurance. Because what we really think you deserve is a big win.
1 Wall Street, Albany, New York. Prior results do not guarantee future outcome.
The ultimate driving machine has arrived. The 330i models combine iconic performance, style, and technology in a compact sports sedan that thrills both drivers and passengers. Lease the 2026 BMW 330i xDrive sedan at Burdick BMW for only $499 per month for 39 months with $49.99 due at signing. Cash down includes $35.75 down payment, $499 first month's payment, $925 acquisition fee, and zero security deposit.
Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry, I was talking to YouTube. How's YouTube doing today? The less toxic of the chats that doesn't stalk me. Hi, Pete Spalenza. Oh, Ryan Mullins over here now. He's made the move. Craig Hare, how are you? Yeah, we think G-Mac's done. He is done. I don't have a hair on my ass. Who told you that? Gaber? Oh, Ryan's a swinger. He likes both. Wow. Oh, I get it, Gaper. There you go, back to that, huh? He's a weirdo, man. How many push-ups you do today, Steve? Any? Do you have slip-on shoes?
I do.
You should give those to Paul when you're done wearing them. I have to go buy new sneakers. Mine ripped today. Mine ripped. God dang it. What's wrong with a pink shirt? I wear pink shirts. I like pink shirts. Pink shows that you're a man. I like suede Pumas for just my walking around kicks, and I usually wear Nike for my like throwing steel and whatnot, walking. 9.5. Gaber can tell you all of my measurements. Wow, Drive-By's a man. He was in 6th grade wearing 9.5. Learn to fly, the Foo Fighters. I should probably learn to fly, huh, Steve? Driving's getting tedious. Private jet setter like you, Steve. I'm not feeling like doing a show today, so go ahead. It's all you, bro.
Do you ever feel like it?
Yeah, sometimes. Like, No, it's like I kind of got on Twitter today. I haven't been on Twitter in a while, and everybody's freaking out because the roster's done, and there's nobody from Duke or North
Wasn't
Carolina.
that one of your talking points?
Yeah,
for a while?
yeah, it is. It is one of my talking points, but I got over it. Don't you remember?
I know. I know
said,
you did. You felt better.
I grew. I grew in the process. I said, well, this is what we're getting, so I'm going to embrace it and trust the process. A lot of people don't have my mental capacity, Steve. I don't know if you know this, my ability to embrace something that I don't understand.
So the latest piece to this puzzle, right, to the roster was named yesterday, and we thought there was one more addition coming, and sure enough, it was announced last night. Iker Martinez from Mexico played some high school ball in Kissimmee, Florida. Most recently was in Arizona last year. 7-footer. If you go by what I saw Mike McAllister talk to. One of his coaches who said he can hit the 15, 20-footer. He's quick. He can make free throws. This is one of those things that you look at their center position right now, Paulie, and it's Luke Wilson, it's Tasman Goodrick from Siena, Sibby from overseas, who you and I discussed at length, and now Martinez coming in. And I think that you look at the big man market right now, and it is out of control. Like, you want a quality big man. We were talking about J.P. Estrella there for a while and thought Syracuse had a shot at him. And then, he goes to Michigan, and he's, probably making, $1 billion, a boatload of money. So by adding another center, and I don't think they're, by no means is Iker Martinez coming in here to be the starter, but you have depth at that position, right? You've got 4 guys now. Yeah. And the hope is you develop them. You bring in somebody who's 7 feet, who's got potential, and now you work with that potential. So I don't think that the signing doesn't hurt you. Why not? And you hope that one of these guys, Sibby or him, develops into a piece that helps you.
This is kind of like the Bryce Zephyr signing last year. Remember how that was down the stretch, and everybody's like, what the hell is this? You got to fill your roster. Yeah. You got a 7-footer. Jerry's plan is to have guys that he can keep also. Right. And this looks like a guy, if you can get him coached up and ready to go maybe next year, or even you could throw a 7-footer out at any time. And,
well, right. That's what I'm saying. You can't teach size. Yeah. And I think that we're seeing the way that they put this roster together. And we've said this since day one when Jerry said it at his introductory press conference. He talked about positional size, and they've got positional size. And you can't have too much height. And, they do have a big man. I know you said that kind of tongue-in-cheek, but Arinze's there to work with the big guys. And you hope that
they'll all be all Americans.
You hope that they can develop into a piece that can help you. So, I don't think this last edition was never meant to move the needle, as you say. It was meant to fill out the roster and to provide a depth piece that you hope can be developed, and you hope that he helps you out down the road.
And you can't. I don't know people that realize this. You can't mock up 7 feet tall when you're going against scouts. Your practice squad, it's hard to duplicate 7 feet. And if you've got somebody you can throw in there during practice as your 7-footer, it helps a lot.
And now they got a few of them. Yeah. They've got a few of them. So when we looked at this roster very early on in its construction, we talked about the need for a center and, the need for a point guard. And, they went with Garway Dual with their point guard position, and they feel as though they've got other guys who can handle the ball. We've talked about this at length on the show about, Aiden Tobiasen and whether or not he's able to play the one, and the ball in Gavin Doty's hands. We saw him with the ball in his hands quite a bit at Siena with the pick and roll. They've got options who can handle the ball. They needed some options up front, and they went out and that's what they've done towards the end of this transfer portal cycle is they went out and got guys that can help you in the middle. And again, you don't need all 4 of them to be good, but if 2 of them are good, that's great.
If
right?
one of them's good at this point, let's go. Also, I think people are underselling the star power on this team, right? I don't know if they're going to be good, but I know Tobiasen is decent, and other schools wanted him. Right?
Well, it's funny because you said to me a little bit earlier. Well, I think you said it on the show a little bit earlier about is Gavin Doty being underrated. Is Aiden Tobiason a little bit underrated
that's right.
right now?
That's what I was going to say. He might be, and I'm guilty of it because I don't know his game. I also think Gavin Doty, if he wasn't playing for Jerry again, would have been a huge commodity on the market. I think people don't realize that. Other schools would have wanted him, big schools.
For sure. And, I mean, there were some, rumors and speculation that there were some big schools that wanted him, Kansas being one of them. But he was always going with Jerry. And so, and it's kind of like Kyan and Sadiq. You look at Sadiq White and, say what you will about Kyan last year, but he obviously has a lot of potential and a lot of talent, and he was a top 40 recruit for a reason. And again, if those guys, weren't here last year and there were a couple of top 40 guys coming in, you would say, okay. So I think that, people just kind of glossed over the fact that Kyan and Sadiq were coming back when I think those were two, big pieces in terms of retention. People glossed over Gavin Doty. Well, of course, Gavin Doty's coming. He was always going to come. And, Aiden Tobiason, I think, has been flying under the radar a little bit. So, I do think that this roster is better than most people are giving it credit for.
I don't know that. Like, somebody wiped the drool off Paul's face after that bozo take. I literally led with, I don't know if they're going to be good, but I know that other schools wanted them. This wasn't like they got guys that, it's not like every player on the roster had this kid that they just signed want sheet of High Point, and Tobiason and Doty would have gotten good money on the open market.
100%, yes.
So just everybody calm down. The problem is, and I've said this a million times, the university needs to stop saying out loud NIL goals and what their NIL plan is until they hit it, right? You can't come out and say we're going to be upper third of the ACC and then NIL if you don't have it already.
Yeah, I do think, and we've talked about this and we've speculated about this, I do wonder if top third of the ACC was what they are spending this year would have been top third last year.
Well, yeah, that's a mistake.
I know, but I'm saying
somebody there should know not to say that.
Right, but I think that is, I do wonder if that's kind of what happened.
Yeah, well, hopefully, they're in big trouble if the people saying those types of things didn't realize that the money was going to go up this year.
Well, the money has gone up a lot, as we're seeing. But I do wonder if that's part of it. But even if they're still in the middle of the pack, you're going to be in the middle of the pack until you can prove that you can outperform that. And I think that, again, going back to Jerry talking about the momentum and getting it, at least some of the way right the first year. I think this first year is so important because it will show, proof of concept, right? That he's put this schedule together a certain way, he's put this roster together a certain way, and if they can go out and win, then hopefully that provides some momentum, not just with NIL and the fan base and the resources, but also guys coming in that, okay, they can win at Syracuse again, and now maybe you do bump up into that top third of the ACC in terms of NIL.
Here's the problem this year. Is some of the fan base is going to think that this is an upper third NIL roster, right? And we're going to get at the end of the year, if they're not in the tournament, they couldn't make the tournament with an upper third roster, right? You're going to hear that.
Sure. Yes.
And then the other people are going to be on my side and say, why are they saying that? Why can't Syracuse play in the NIL game? So it's a no-win situation.
Here's the thing, though, about that. They're being asked it, so they have to say something. So would you prefer they say...
Yeah, don't answer that question.
But yeah, okay. So what do you say then? So like we asked John Wildhack point blank. We said, Randolph Childress put us on the spot and said, where is Syracuse? We asked him, and we even said,
you want to know what I said?
You even said at the time he can't say bottom half.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah. No, just say we're going to be competitive.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Yeah. What does it mean? It's a better answer than giving a definite when you.
I'm not sure about. Well, yes, I understand because then a definite can be held against you. But you say be competitive, then we would get off the air and people say, well, he didn't answer the question.
Well, yeah, fine. I would.
So what's better?
Yeah, I'm saying what I said. We'll be competitive. You don't come out and say we're going to be. You're going to say you don't say we're going to be upper third.
Right. I think he said the goal was to be upper third. So it was not a concrete we are upper third, but it's semantics, right? I get that. But you're saying you can't answer the question.
You can't put things out there for people to latch onto.
Yeah. So again, I think if you just say, yeah, we're going to be competitive, it's a non-answer. You say our goal is to be top third. That's an answer. They're not top third right now.
Our goal is to be as dominant as we can be. Thank you. Next question.
Alphabet Guy says we are focused on NIL and we'll do anything we can to be competitive. That's a good answer.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
That's a good answer.
That's what I said, Steve.
He added we will do anything we can to be competitive. That shows dedication to it.
Yeah. Okay.
Saying that, we're competitive. I don't know.
We will be competitive.
We will be competitive. Okay. Show us. Show me the money.
You can say the same thing
like
there.
Tom Cruise. Jerry Maguire. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that until the NIL is fixed, those questions are going to keep popping up, and I'm not sure there's not a good answer to it.
Here we go. Here you go. Paulie's life lessons.
Right. So Paulie, where's the NIL right now with Syracuse as it pertains to the rest of the ACC?
Well, Steve, here we go. The NIL it's very difficult to tell because it's not public record for everybody. But I can assure you this. We are doing our best to be competitive in the NIL world in the year 2026. Next question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go to the phone lines. Who you got? Yeah, thank you. Dominic in North Carolina. Dom, what's going on?
How you guys doing? Thanks for taking my call.
No problem.
So here's my thing about Jerry, NIL money or not. These guys, if they are coming in, I trust Jerry. Jerry has that DNA, just winner DNA that like guys like Derek Jeter had, where I just trust what he's going to do until you don't trust it anymore. But there's just something about him and what he did at Siena. I trust this move. I trust his plan for the team. And as for like fundraising, I've done fundraising for high school sports, and you never want to tell people, even if you reach your goal, because if you reach your goal, people are going to stop giving. You're never satisfied. And that's one of the things that universities should be saying. That I don't even think that even if they got what they wanted for all the sports, they should say that they reached their goal. They never be satisfied. Just keep going, keep pushing. And I am kind of disappointed in the university in that. So appreciate it, guys.
All right. Appreciate you checking in, Dom. It's a delicate question because, again, if you undersell it, then people are going to throw up their hands and be like, well, my money's not going to matter. Look at how far behind the 8 ball they are. And then if you oversell it, then like you're saying, people are going to say,
why aren't we in the tournament?
How are you not in the tournament if you had a top third NIL budget? So it's a delicate balance, and it's tough because I think we know the reality is that they are being outspent significantly by other programs, right? And regardless of how many that is, if it's 5 programs, 8 programs, 6 programs, it's enough that where they fall in the pecking order of the ACC is it makes it tough to make the NCAA tournament if it strictly goes by NIL. And we saw last year, for the most part, it did go by NIL, the ACC standings.
All right. A good segment. We need to take a break.
We do. Behind. All right. 315-437-7644. Phone line's open if you want to check in. We're going to talk some Knicks basketball at the top of the hour with Bryce Gellman. We're back after this on ESPN Radio.
I didn't see what Grant said that Gaper responded to, but Galaxy has helped out with NIL a lot. Worked with Buddy, Joe Girard, JJ, Donnie. Oh, yeah. Also, Kyle McCord, they helped a lot with that.
Guy doesn't sound like him at all.
Why do you just randomly mock me?
No, I was trying to be funny. That was funny. Come on.
Steve is a mean person. Did you just hear him just randomly mock?
It was funny.
Lock him in cages and play Arms of an Angel? I never went to Lilith Fair. I did go to Woodstock 99. Was that the one at Griffiths 99?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Did not go to the Horde tour. Yeah, I was both groped and rioted. My buddy actually broke his leg, so we were gone before the riots broke out. I think I went to one Lollapalooza. Was there one at the fairgrounds? Fella Ferda, not going to be here all day for NIL talk. What do you want us to talk about, Fella Ferda? It's the state of college basketball.
If we're like still yapping at 12:50, I'll probably just call me, but I'll text you guys.
Yeah, we will. We're sickening Fella Ferda right now. Sickening him, Steve. He's vomiting in his car with the NIL talk. What sickens you, Steve?
Mayo.
Ooh, is Shanana coming back? Is Shanana still alive?
Bo.
Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Bo. Remember that,
Pretty
Steve?
good. I do remember that very well. What are we doing here?
I don't think Cayenne's starting.
I don't think Cayenne's starting either. Who said that?
The chat is discussing it right now.
Yeah, I don't think so. I feel pretty strongly about that. I don't think he's starting.
Ooh, 3-month expired mayo on a sandwich, Steve. Yum. That's the equivalent of eating 3,000-year-old honey.
What's that?
3-month-old mayo.
That's gross.
Watch your favorite ESPN Syracuse sports talk shows on QSportstalk.com.
Monkey wrench, Steve. Let's do a quick talk. The chat is discussing right now, Steve, Cayenne Anthony. And I don't think he's going to be a starter. I think Gavin Doty's probably going to be the 2, right? Or Tobias.
Well, I think Tobias and Doty are starting. Yeah.
Interchangeable at the 3 and 2.
I think so. I don't think Cayenne. I think as of right now, I don't think Cayenne's starting. I think he's got to show that he deserves to start, and I don't think he did that last year.
He left a little bit to be desired last year.
Yeah. He's got to get better defensively, obviously. He's got to get stronger. He's got to show that when, opponents are physical with him, that he can play through it on both ends of the court. And I think that he's got to show he's an everyday guy. And you know what I mean by that, Paulie. So I think as it stands right now, I'd be willing to guess that he's coming off the bench.
The Cayenne hate is ridiculous, Steve. You two clearly want him to be bad. No, I want him to be good. I want Syracuse to win.
Well, it has nothing to do with what I want.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't good last year, and I think that...
Yeah, and I think he knows it. I think his father knows it. I think Jerry knows it. And I think he's got to improve if he wants to start.
And that can happen, by the way. Like, if he's got a whole off season to get it together and to show that he deserves to start. What I'm saying is right now, as of May 20th, I don't think he's penciled into the starting lineup. He's got to go and he's got to win that job. He's got to earn that job. He's got to earn those minutes. And I don't think he did that last year.
But Gavin Doty is a life changer, Steve. No, he may not be, but he had a better year last year. And Gavin Doty, I think if you had Cayenne on the open market and Gavin Doty on the open market right now, Doty would go first.
I mean, that's hard to say because who knows? I think it depends on the program and what do you mean? Come on, like
you think Gavin? Okay, better school.
I think that they would both command a lot.
I don't know about that.
I mean, Cayenne is, again, you look at the pedigree, you look at the potential. He didn't have a good year. His first year.
I think he would have taken, maybe not. He'd probably still be a power forward, but I don't think he would have.
Oh, he's for sure would have been. I
don't think he would have taken a step up. He's not going to Duke or anything like that.
I think Cayenne is a solid player. I think he's got to get better, and I think Gavin Doty comes here as. And again, coaches are going to go with guys that they trust and that, you talk about Jerry and building the culture and whatnot. Gavin is absolutely a culture guy.
Yes. And so is Cayenne. Cayenne has been here. He knows what is expected.
He can be, right. Yeah. He can be.
He says he played for Siena. Yeah, Kansas wanted him.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't, somebody, is it the same guy who said, I don't understand the Cayenne hate? I don't understand the Gavin Doty hate. I mean, they're both quality players. I'm saying, you asked my opinion. I'm giving you my opinion. This isn't what I don't want Cayenne to be bad. Cayenne didn't have a great freshman year. Gavin Doty's coming off of a fantastic season in which he was essentially the player of the year in that conference. He was a unanimous first-team all-conference selection. I think right now he is the guy that you would expect is going to start. And if it's not the case, that means Cayenne came back and he earned it. And I guess that... Read between the lines what I'm saying here about him earning his time.
We act like Syracuse sucked because of Cayenne. Get the hell out of here. It's a stupid take.
Yeah, that is a stupid take.
Everyone did. Cayenne's the only one on the team from last year besides Sadiq. Like, do you want us to blame you? Oh, my God. Kyle's shot somebody is...
So just let it go. Okay, let those comments go. Just me and you talk here. And I think you and I agree on this. Cayenne's got to earn his way onto the court. He's got to earn those extra minutes. He's got to earn the starting job. And he didn't do that last year. Yeah. And I think Gavin Doty did do that in Jerry's eyes, right? And so I believe, this is my personal opinion, they come here, Doty and Tobias are going to be starters. And if Cayenne is going to, he's got to earn the minutes that he gets. And if he were to work his way into the starting lineup, great. And as you said, then, if he gets there, that means he deserved it and he earned it. He's not going to get it because of his last name. And I think that there was a little bit of that going on last year where, he didn't know how hard he had to work in order to get the minutes that he wanted. And, there's certainly some things he needs to improve upon. And if he does those things, maybe he works his way into the starting lineup. But as of today, on May 20th, I don't think he's a starter.
Yeah, and like last year, Tyler Betsy was a big recruit. Didn't work out, for him at Cincinnati, and he ended up at Syracuse. Just because you're a big recruit doesn't mean you're, freshmen are going to go to smaller schools now, guys, and it's going to be a minor league system for Power 1 schools now. That's just the way it is. Unless you're a top 10 recruit, that's just the way it's going to be.
All right, let's get a phone call in here at 315-437-7644. We got Scooter and Jamesville up next on the show. Scooter, what's going on?
I'm glad you're going to talk to somebody about the Knicks game, but it's also general. But the Knicks game is classic reason why I don't know how, if you grew up in the 70s and 80s, kind of watched the new style of the NBA. That first quarter, what were they combined? 3 for 30 shooting threes?
Yeah, it was ugly.
I mean, what is Plan B? It used to be to work the ball closer to the basket. That looks more to look farther than the basket. But there would seem to be no Plan B, and you got to give the. Was it Brim doing the game? He pointed out a lot of times they don't even point out 3-point shooting stats. But you watch most of these games, I can understand why a team can lose a 22-point lead because you're constantly going to keep shooting threes, and you hit that wall. I mean, it allows the opposition to come back. But man, that was ugly. And if it wasn't the ending, was there anything really worth noting about that game? If it wasn't for the Knicks coming back.
No, I mean they were in a lot of trouble. They couldn't make shots. At one point, I want to say the Knicks were 4 for 23 from three, and then all of a sudden they caught fire and Brunson couldn't miss. And I think they went 6 for 8 down the stretch from 3-point range. And Brunson, Brunson did everything. I mean, it wasn't just threes he was making. He got to the basket, but they needed the Cavs to help them out during that comeback, and the Cavs did. They turned it over. Harden and Mitchell, I think, were combined 1 for 10 during the run, and they couldn't close it out. And credit the Knicks for coming back.
Well, thank you. Thank the coach for being stupid, putting Hardman on Brunson. I mean, come on, Steve. I think you can low post them.
Not sure about that anymore. Maybe a few years ago. Yeah, right. Scooter, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, that was an incredible comeback. But, again, they didn't do it by themselves. They need a little bit of help from the Cavs to come back from down 22 with 7.5 minutes to go, and the Cavs certainly contributed to it.
Let's take a timeout and come back. We'll do the market.
Okay, let's do that. We'll wrap up hour number 1 next on ESPN Radio.
When's my birthday? When is Steve's? I'm not giving out my birthday now, seeing that people can find out where I live. Next thing I know, you guys will be in my bank accounts. Creeps. I'm going to be careful about what I say on here now. Yeah, I'm not saying it on here. I am you. If you want to get it, you earn it.
We literally were talking about birthdays a couple days ago.
Your half birthday, yeah.
Yeah.
The drive-by. Have you ever looked up a radio show host's address? Like, give you a break. No, he hasn't rattled me. Have I blocked him or anything? No. I haven't blocked him at all. He hasn't rattled me at all. I just want people to know he's a weirdo. My first, Hank. Hank was my first dog name. I know for a fact that's not a password. Clearly rattled? I'm still here, brother. Yeah, I haven't stopped talking about the fact that you looked up a radio host address and then started trying to intimidate him with it and said you were going to be out front of my building in the past. I'm not rattled at all. I keep coming every day. I'm not insecure either. I'm out front of my building walking my dog every day still. Walking around my neighborhood. You did say that, Gaper. You said I will. You have said that. If Gaper showed up to my building, what am I going to do? I don't know. You have said it, dude. I'm not hugging it out with him. I'm a sad, insecure man. You looked up my address, weirdo. I'm just going to keep reminding you that you did it. Oh, no. No hitter over, Steve. Everlong. I have a feeling this is going to be an everlong summer.
Yeah.
There's not going to be a lot to talk about this summer. We are kind of blessed by that second transfer portal in football. We don't have that anymore.
No, nothing's going to change with the football team, the basketball team until the end of August at the earliest.
It's defunct like Tom McCann shoes.
Let's check in with Mike from Lee Baldwin and Company on the market. Mike, what's going on today?
Guys, we're getting a good bounce back day, led by the Dow up about 486 points or 1%. So strong across the board. In our Diamond and Dog, we're going to go with a couple of retailers. TJX is actually very strong up on earnings, about 6%. Or $9 to $160 a share. And going the opposite way is Target. Target's down about $4.50 to $122. Concerns over higher gas prices, hurting traffic, and the outlook are hurting that stock a little bit. But it was down about twice as much on the open. It was down about 10, so it's been fighting back as the day's gone on. Overall, a really good day, and hopefully we can hang on to the gains as we go out through 4 o'clock today, guys.
All right. Good stuff, Mike. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
All right, all the diamonds, none of the dogs. Be sure to visit LeeBaldwin.com.
Your defunct store of the day today, Steve, Blockbuster Video.
Isn't there one left?
I think it's gone.
Is it?
Are there?
I thought there was one store. I saw a story about it a couple years ago.
Yeah, I did it as a kicker.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah. There was one in like Washington State.
Yeah, there's one left in Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. See, I listen to you. I listen when you talk.
But yeah, Blockbuster. You remember going to Blockbuster?
I do.
You remember the disappointment of moving the box cover and then there was no video behind it?
I do. You really want? Yes, I do remember that.
You're like, oh, I really wanted to watch Porky's this weekend. No.
Second reference in 2 days.
No Porky's for you. I would like to have a weekend of my childhood with you, Steve. Would you ever do that?
That would be fun.
Would Kim let you out for a weekend?
Sure,
and I was like, hey, let's go out this weekend. We'll rent Porky's. We'll watch Porky's.
I've never seen it.
I know. You'll be shook. We'll watch Porky's. We'll get some Boone's Farm. We'll sneak out in the backyard. We'll sneak out behind my apartment. We'll drink some Boone's.
Steal your mom's car.
We'll drink some Boone's Farm. We'll steal someone's car. I'm going to take one of the station trucks. You got to do that before you drink the Boone's Farm, though.
Yeah, well, right. Yes.
And we'll go to we'll rent Porky's. We'll
set some
drink
G.I. Joe.
Oh yeah, we'll do that.
Things on fire.
Yeah, we'll take my Millennium Falcon. We'll go up on the top of my building, set it on fire, and launch it off the building.
I could just catch up on everything I've missed in one
we'll do
weekend.
it all one, and then the following weekend you take me out, and we do your weekend, and we drive around and kill horses, and then we collect rocks, and we go to church on Sunday.
It's not all I did, by the way. But that's funny. The killing the horses game, it's actually it's fun.
No, it's not. That's not a fun game. That's serial killer behavior.
It kept us busy.
As long as you're quiet in the car.
Exactly.
Your parents are okay with it. Yeah, kill whatever you want, kids.
All right. Let's hit the top of the hour. We're going to talk Knicks basketball on the other side with Bryce Gellman. We're back after this on ESPN Radio.
Waterboard each other. Paulie would have to bite your. Oh, what if you bit me and blamed it on?
I bit myself.
Oh yeah.
I blamed it on hers.
No, I was fine. Like Gabriel can say whatever he wants about me. Just when you start doing what he's doing, it's next level. It's next level. I'll shut up about it now. But it's just next level weird. Bryce is a great guest, even though I don't like his TikToks. I watch him, I just don't like him. And I don't hate him or dislike him, I just don't like him, Steve. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't hit the little heart button and he gets mad.
Not top 5 right now. Could work his way into top 5. But right now, not top 5. Like I am. That's where I was going with that.
Will I bring it up again? Well, let's see what happens first, Gaper. I bring it up again or you make a gay joke. Yeah, like Luke Skywalker, like Jeffrey Dahmer used to kill animals. How's YouTube doing? This is what happens when Paulie drinks. On VMix, I'm going to go through and like one of his TikToks really quick so he doesn't yell at me. He's usually yelling at me anyways. That's what all his TikToks are, him yelling at me. Here we go. Here we go. I need to have him teach me how to do that thing where he's like green screen in front of the video because I'm old and I don't know how to do that. All right, there he is. Heart. There you go. I hearted it. Steve, don't tell him, even though he can hear us, that I just liked it. Okay?
The feud is over.
The
beef is over.
I've liked his...
No, I know you've liked. I feel like I don't want Bryce to be offended, though. Now he's not. Hopefully.
I've been liking his videos the whole time. He literally pops up every day on my video feed. He's in my algorithm, as the kids would say. It's like YouTube and those things, whatever, TikTok, whatever the hell, knows who I used to work with, and their videos pop up. I'm watching a kid on TikTok who's trying to make varsity basketball, and he's never played basketball in his life. It's really fun. Like, you can see him progressively getting
How old is he?
better. Like, he's going into his freshman year. I'll make a TikTok dance video. On my special weekend, will you give me mono? What a horrible weekend. I don't want to eat bland food all weekend. Hey, here's a chicken finger. something I could dunk it in? The air. You could dunk it in air. Oh, a turkey sandwich for lunch. This is exciting. Yeah, it's going to be the driest thing you've ever eaten in your life.
If I have to keep an open mind, you have to keep an open mind.
Here's a bowl of cereal. Where's my milk? We don't eat with milk here. We just eat dry Cheerios. The Foo Fighters, The Pretenders, Steve. I'm a pretender. I pretend I know what I'm talking about daily on this show. I'm willing to admit it. The one thing I won't pretend I know about is how good basketball players are when they sign in the transfer portal.
Yeah, none of us knows for sure,
Yes.
right? Until we get to see.
You know what I do know? That Bryce Gellman is a good dude.
Yes.
And I like his videos on the regular on TikTok.
That's very
now.
kind of you to say, Paulie. Thank you for that.
No problem.
I heard
I do.
what you
are
said.
in my algorithm.
I know. I appreciate your likes, and I don't feel like you could say anything to be about my TikToks with how you post on Facebook. So I think it's equally as bad there. So we kind of even each other out.
I do enjoy your stuff. I don't ever like videos. I don't know why.
This is exactly what all my friends say. Oh, I watch this. I see that. Did you engage with it? Are you helping me out, advance my career? And Paulie, you did help me advance my career. I did win a New York State intern of the month, I believe, when I worked for you guys, and that was all a testament to your dedication to me as someone who was coming up in the industry. So thank you for that, Paulie.
No problem, anytime. And I will like your videos regularly. I see you daily. I feel like you're still here because I see you so much on my TikTok.
All right, Bryce. Let's talk about that game last night. What
did you watch the whole thing? Did you shut it off?
Well, okay. So it's an interesting story. I'm not going to tell you yes or no otherwise, but I work for Sirius XM NBA Radio, and I was working last night, which was very unfortunate because, of course, I'm a very emotional person, and I was watching that game pissed off. So I did turn it off when they went down 22, but I had to. Okay, so I'm getting that out of the way. I had to turn it off. I had to go into another studio, and then I did turn it back on. And then, when I turned it back on, they were making a comeback. So I don't know what I would have done if I wasn't at work, but I did watch that entire comeback, and that was pretty cathartic.
All right. So at what point during that comeback did you think to yourself, there's actually a chance they could win this game? Because, I watched the comeback as well. I was getting ready to go out, do the news last night, and we had it in our show, and we had cut the highlights, and I told Mario, I was like, the Knicks are kind of making it interesting. When they got to 10, I said, hold up, this might not be over just yet. What about with you, Bryce?
Until Landry Shamet hit the 3 to tie the game. I have this not like this negative, pessimistic look at it. I think I consider myself a realist, and there are a lot of people out there that think otherwise, and I'm a little too negative. But I've witnessed too much negativity in my life, if that makes sense. But the reason why, that's the real answer. But I thought that they were capable of a comeback when they took Josh Hart out of the game at around the 9.5-minute mark. There's no one who gets more frustrated with Josh Hart than myself. And listen, he's an amazing basketball player. He's huge for this Knicks team. But there are times when he just doesn't have it. And he was killing them in that game. And I'll maybe get into it depending on your questions later. If not, I'll expand on it. But they took him out for Landry Shamet. And guys, the rest was history. And that's when they started, that comeback.
All right, so explain yourself then. Why was that the key for you?
So what Cleveland does is they have a lot of size. They have Evan Mobley, who's a 7-footer. He plays a stretch 4 power forward. And they have Jarrett Allen, who on defense is the roamer of the paint, even though Evan Mobley last year won Defensive Player of the Year. And, of course, it was like a participation award because Wemby had the blood clot. So he wouldn't have won it if Wemby didn't have, a serious medical issue. But still, he's Defensive Player of the Year nonetheless. And those two guys, as cogs in the defense, are very hard to counter, especially when you have a player in Josh Hart that they're daring to shoot, because you could put Jared Allen on him, and Jared Allen could play 5-10 feet off of him. He can grab every defensive rebound. They could get out in transition. They could do whatever they want. They could essentially, they could look you dead in the face when they're on defense. They could say, we want you to do this. And what other choice do you have? Because you need the spacing. You have Karl Anthony Towns on the floor. He's the best floor spacing big in the NBA. When Josh Hart's not shooting the three, he is one of the least spacing. I don't know if that makes any sense, but he spaces the floor the least out of any effective role player in the NBA. And last night, guys, the Cavs were daring him to shoot the ball. And he was hesitant. And when he did shoot it, he wasn't making those shots. So at some point, I'm sitting there screaming at the TV, screaming at Mike Brown, take Josh Hart out. And I don't want to be like, oh, yeah, I told you so, but they took out Josh Hart, and the offense opened up because they put in a guy in Landry Shamet who historically, over his career as a New York Knick, has performed better at Madison Square Garden than he has on the road. And there are few and far between in terms of players in this league that get traded to the Knicks and perform better at Madison Square Garden than they do on the road. Some players are fit for it. Some players are fit for the New York scene, right? Like, you've seen it from guys like Sonny Gray. I know this is a completely different sport. You've seen it from Sonny Gray. You've seen it from Devin Williams. Some guys are just really good elsewhere, but they can't make it in the Mecca. And the Garden is a completely different beast. Players who come in, visiting players, they love it. They thrive off the energy. Landry Shamet is one of the few players that has come onto the Knicks team as a role player and who always elevates his game at Madison Square Garden. That was the right move from Mike Brown at the time, to bring in Landry Shamet, take Josh Hart out, and the decision was easy as humanly possible to not put Josh Hart back into the game, to ride Landry Shamet. And guys, that's what won them the game at the end of the day.
And the Knicks deserve a lot of credit for obviously that comeback, no doubt about it. But you can't come down. You can't come back from down 22 with 7.5 minutes to go without a little bit of help from the opponent. What stood out to you about the way the Cavs handled the end of that game? And it was empty possession after empty possession, and Donovan Mitchell and James Harden had a bunch of missed shots, and they didn't call timeout. They just the building was electric. Brunson got on fire. Like, what stood out to you, I guess, the most about how the Cavs contributed to that comeback?
There was a lot, guys, and it's not hyperbole to say it's the worst collapse in playoff history. You look at all the stats, you see, I could throw out all these stats for you. It won't really change anything to know that this comeback is like 1 in 700, opportunities with the team up 20 points with, 8 minutes to go, whatever. You know that it's historic. But for me, it's historic not just in the numbers there, not in just the probabilities, but you have to look at how it happened. You have to look at the fact that the Knicks, throughout that entire stretch where they came back, they didn't have a single point in transition. I just want you to envision how unbelievable that is. The Knicks didn't generate any momentum with the fast break. No momentum there. It was all the half-court offense. They dominated them. And the reason why they dominated them, and this is compounded with Kenny Atkinson and the outrageous decision to not call timeout more than once during that run, and then also to leave James Harden in the game. James Harden, whom played, listen, he played some of the worst defense you will ever see down the stretch of that game. And you got to give credit to the Knicks. You got to give credit to Mike Brown for generating the mismatches, for getting James Harden on Jalen Brunson. And guys, here's another crazy stat for you. In every single offensive action that James Harden, or defensive action, I guess you could say, against the offense, that he was involved in, the Knicks averaged 1.86 points per action. Do you understand how insane that is? They scored almost every single time that James Harden was the primary defender on any player, on any given possession. So he is, he's a large factor in that, James Harden. But listen, he's not on the floor unless the coach keeps him on the floor. So I think Kenny Atkinson, at the end of the day, if I'm a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, if I had money on the Cavs, I'd be, I know it's one game, but I'd be calling for his firing. We speak about hyperbole earlier. I don't think that that's hyperbolic. It was a generational disaster class in coaching.
Bryce, since you bring up coaching, do you feel as though the Knicks are in better hands with Mike Brown than they were with Tom Thibodeau, or do you think the coaching is a wash and that this team's just maybe a little bit better than they were last year?
So I was actually on the day that I think it was either the day they fired Tom Thibodeau or the day that they hired Mike Brown. Either one of the two. I think it might have been Mike Brown. But at the time, and this has been a steadfast belief of mine, that the right move was to fire Tom Thibodeau. There was a ceiling that the team had reached. There was a level of offensive versatility and the idea that the entire offense had yet to be unlocked because Tom Thibodeau was holding them back. And for a multitude of reasons, that firing was the right move. And at the end of the day, it was James Dolan who made the final decision. It wasn't Leon Rose. It was the owner who came in and said, hey, listen, this isn't working. And a lot of people criticized him. And listen, there were a lot of pundits in the media, legacy media, a lot of people who are younger who criticized the firing at the time. And for me, it was like, this is inevitable. This had to happen. I was more frustrated when they hired Mike Brown instead of a more established assistant who had a lot to prove. I thought Mike Brown was a good coach, but it never made sense to me to fire Tom Thibodeau, a long-term head coach who didn't make it elsewhere, to hire another head coach, a long-term head coach who didn't make it elsewhere. So at the time, I hated it. And up until Game 3 against the Hawks, I think I, along with every other Knicks fan, looked at it as a mistake. And I never for once thought it was a mistake to fire Tom Thibodeau. I just always looked at it as like they should have hired someone other than Mike Brown. And the second the Knicks' hand was forced at the end of Game 3 against the Hawks, the game they blew, obviously they blew games 2 and 3 or whatever it was, but they were down 2-1 to the Hawks. They changed how they approach the offense. They changed how that they moved on offense, the scheme, and essentially it all stemmed from giving the ball to Karl-Anthony Towns at the top of the key or the elbow and letting him run the offense and still allowing Jalen Brunson to have just as many touches, the same amount of dribbles, the same amount of usage rate. But you get him off the ball more, you save some energy for him, and also you're not getting into situations, you're not getting into possessions that start with 10 seconds left in the shot clock where Jalen Brunson is left to do Jalen Brunson work in isolation, and it doesn't work half the time. We saw last night what happens when Jalen Brunson has the opportunity to get some rest. He has the opportunity to do what he needs to do over a shorter stretch of the time later on in games. It was killing them that Jalen Brunson had to be the only offense throughout the entire quarter, the first quarter, the third quarter, both quarters that he always plays in full. Mike Brown was able to adjust. He was able to change his ways. He's established a different rotation on a night-by-night basis. He's experimented. These are all things that Tom Thibodeau refused to do. And at the end of the day, that is why I believed it was the right move to move on from Tom Thibodeau. Mike Brown has obviously proven me wrong with how he's coached over the course of this 8-game win streak from the Knicks in the playoffs.
What do you expect from the rest of this series? I would assume that you think the Knicks are going to move on. How difficult a series do you think this will be?
We saw last year, and I believe I made some frequent appearances last year on this very established award-winning show that if you don't know, I had the privilege of working for a year and a half. That it was the day after, I believe, that comeback from the Pacers, which at the time was the worst collapse in NBA history. Of course, the Knicks on the other end of that. And there was this fleeting sentiment that it would be impossible to come back from. The home loss, blowing a game like that. And obviously that turned out to be true. The Knicks never had a chance in that series. They lost Game 6, and that was it. They didn't have an opportunity to go back to their home floor on Game 7 and defend it. They didn't. So this loss, in the way that it happened, in a game that the Cavs had that game, and it was a stolen game. It wasn't like, all right, well, we blew it at home, and it was never, we couldn't lose that game. They were playing with house money. They win that game. They're up 1-0. They have home court advantage. The rest of the series, they're looking pretty, right? They're sitting pretty. The Cavs blew that game last night, and I wanted to hear something different from Kenny Atkinson. And of course, I'm a Knicks fan, and obviously I want the Knicks to win. But as a fan of basketball, as someone who, I like Kenny Atkinson. I think he's a good coach, great offensive mind. You've seen throughout the course of his first 2 seasons as Cavs head coach, the offense has been near at the top of the league always. But he came out there in the post-game press conference, and he said, I'm proud of my guys. There was a lot of luck on the other end. It wasn't like, that was pathetic. My guys need to do better. It's on me. I screwed up. There was some of that, but it wasn't the prevailing sentiment. It wasn't the prevailing idea behind what he was saying during that postgame. So I heard that, and I'm like, well, how can you expect this team to go back and regain any sort of that ferocity and that energy and the tenacity that they were showing up until the 9-minute mark in the fourth quarter? Like, how do you come back out and recover from that? That's a question you have to ask for yourself, not just in basketball, in football, in every single different sport where you blow a game that bad. I mean, I know that this is an extreme example that goes past the Knicks one last year, which is the most obvious one, but the 1995 NBA Finals, when Nick Anderson, I believe, missed 4 free throws in a row, and the Magic had that game in the bag, and they lost the series because they couldn't recover from that. And Nick Anderson never returned to form throughout the rest of his career. Not saying that that's going to happen with Donovan Mitchell. Not going to say that that's going to happen with the last 3 or 4 years with James Harden's career. But either way, guys, we see on that big of a stage, in that big of a moment, to do it in New York, at the world's most famous arena, I'd find it hard-pressed for the Cavs to come back and regain control in the series. Maybe they force it to 6. Maybe if they're lucky, they force it to 7. There's no chance they win it in 5. There's no chance they win it in 6. They'd have to be very lucky to win in 7 at this point.
Bryce, we got about a minute left. So let's say the Knicks advance. You're seeing what's going on out west between the Spurs and Thunder, and that looks like it's shaping up to be a great series. What kind of chance do you give the Knicks against either of those 2 teams? Because it feels like they've got a lot of options offensively and defensively in terms of being able to slow down Jalen Brunson.
They match up terribly against OKC, and I'm very afraid if OKC comes back and wins this series. What they have is unlike any team has ever had in NBA history. They've got 11 guys. 6 of those guys who come off the bench could start in the NBA. They are versatile defensively. There's not a single player that they use in their rotation that you can look at as like, all right, well, he's just used for spacing, right? Like, he's just a 3-point shooter. He doesn't play defense. They all play defense. And this isn't just they play defense. They play it at an exceptional level. And they do it collectively as a team to the point where you get the comparisons to some of the best teams in NBA history. There's just one variable that they can't control in a series, and that's the 7'5" Victor Wembanyama. But we saw in the NBA Cup Finals and the other time, it was 2-1 the series, the Knicks against the Spurs. We saw the Knicks match up extremely well against the Spurs. Mitchell Robinson did a great job defending Victor Wembanyama, which is not an easy task. And what intrigues me the most about a potential Knicks-Spurs series and the Knicks potentially winning a said series is the fact that Victor Wembanyama is not going to be able to roam the paint because Karl Anthony Towns, as I mentioned before, is the best floor spacing big man in the NBA, maybe in NBA history. So, listen, if they play Josh Hart, that's not going to be the case. But if Josh Hart's off the floor, Victor Wembanyama is going to be neutralized because he has to hedge out there. He can't, collapse the paint. He can't recover there because he could just flip it out to Karl Anthony Towns. He could shoot a 3. So I think it's San Antonio. Of course, you look at their lack of experience. You could say that, but after what we saw in Game 1, I don't think that's going to matter much. But either way, if you ask me to pick one of the 2, I think it's San Antonio. I don't think they stand a chance against OKC, but against San Antonio, I listen. I got to pinch myself. I don't want to get to that point, as I mentioned earlier. I'm not. They have a chance. All right, let's game by game. We're going to take it game by game here. All right.
I can respect that. Bryce, we appreciate the insight. Thanks so much for coming on. Keep doing your thing, and Paulie's going to keep liking your content.
Thank you, Stephen. Paulie, I really appreciate it. You were a great boss,
Not just
I will. You're one of my favorite people who engages with my content. I could say that.
I like
Thanks,
it.
guys.
Your disembodied head. Your disembodied head is one of my favorite.
Oh, you want me to
see.
teach you how to do the green screen, right? You were saying in the break.
Yeah. I'll shoot you a text.
I don't know if that's smart for everyone else. That might be a bad idea. So I don't know. I might have to clear that with some other people. Tim, I might have to clear that with him. Maybe Steve as well. So
right.
we'll see.
Paulie's disembodied head would be huge.
That's a disaster.
Huge rating script.
No one wants to hear a disembodied head talk about the
Bryce Gellman
Padres.
joining us here on the show. We'll take a time out. Phone lines open the rest of the way. 315-437-7644. Back after this on ESPN Radio.
Fella Furter says he's living. That room is his entire living space. Why do people chase this life? Why? God forbid we do what we want, and why this is what we wanted to do in life, and we do it, and we're happy. Why did you decide to do what you do? Nobody comes into this business thinking they're going to be the next like Howard Stern or Mike Tirico. You just do it for the love of the game. Yeah, just like me. If I'm happy, why does it matter? And I'm happy. I was using him as a success story, dingus. So, like, you can't say anything without people correcting you on everything. Stern is as good as it gets. I love my job. This is what I wanted to do since I was 7. I was sitting listening to Swing Out Sister last night on the radio station I program, and I'm like, this is pretty good. I grew up liking this fucking song, and now I'm programming it. Look at me. I'm keeping Swing Out Sister relevant. Break out. Yeah. I don't have Star Wars dolls. I have a Millennium Falcon and the Darth Vader ship. That's all I got. No dolls. Steve has the dolls.
We mentioned it right at the top, but yeah. Okay. think we're coming back here, guys.
Come back.
I think so.
Let's do it live.
I mean, this is usually the liner that plays, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
we're
going on air, Rick. Oh.
Plenty of time, dude. Relax.
Well, it was playing the liner.
You can't see when your foot like hits.
Relax. I wouldn't have been. Relax. Who cares? Nobody's gonna die if I'm not in the seat when the music starts. I was coming back. The video.
Well, you do play the music.
The vending machine. It plays by itself. The vending machine.
The artist of the day does not play by itself.
Did I say the artist of the day?
Okay.
I said the music plays. Thank you.
I was trying to help you out.
You also were not going to make it.
No.
Until Steve
I was
said
getting a drink of
something.
water because the vending machine was out.
All I said was
right, and you barely made it.
Everybody, don't worry about me. Worry about you. This isn't about me. It's about you. You're my hero, Foo Fighters.
It's just
nobody would have known. We would just
yes, they would have. You wouldn't have been back in time.
I didn't say it on the air. I said it to you. I said, I think we're coming back, Paulie.
I almost killed one of my coworkers because you guys rushed me. I took him out in the hallway. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Poor Rich Yuli almost face planted because my legs caught his legs as I was hustling back. If he fell, it would have been hysterical. And he'd be like, why were you wrestling? Because the bump was going to play instead of the artist of the day.
Well, I'm glad you made it back. That was seamless.
Yeah.
Seamless.
I screw up when I'm sitting here.
I know you do.
It would have been no different if I wasn't here. Nobody would have known. Oh, Paulie screwed up again. Yep.
All right, today's business brought to you by Superior Plus Propane. We haven't talked a ton because there's been a lot of news going on today. We haven't talked a lot about the Rutgers game yet, which is that, as you guys hit on at the top of the show a little bit, it's that fifth game that we were wondering about. So now you've got the 4 non-conference games we know for sure are Indiana in Indy, St. John's at MSG, Providence at the TD Garden in Boston, and John Rothstein saying they're finalizing an agreement to play Rutgers at the Barclays Center as well. And then it will be an ACC-SEC challenge. That game is expected to be on the road. You guys like this as the last addition to the non-conference power conference games?
Well, it's funny because we were talking about when we discussed that fifth spot and what would we like to see. We said, Barclays Center is probably in play, and I think we projected Seton Hall. We said Seton Hall at Barclays Center would make a lot of sense. We were close, right? It's a team from down there at the Barclays Center. It's Rutgers at the Barclays Center. And for all the people who are saying the schedule's too tough, why are they doing this? This is a team that was 14-20 last year. It's a Power 5 opponent. It's a neutral site game. It's a place that Syracuse wants to play. Get down to New York and get down in the tri-state area. So I think it makes sense for a lot of reasons. I don't think it necessarily mattered if it was Seton Hall or Rutgers.
Or anybody.
Yeah, just you want to play these games in neutral site locations, and you want to test yourself. And they have plenty of these games that they're testing themselves in. And I think this Rutgers game is, if you want to put it under the column of an opponent you should beat, there you go. Everybody was saying that the schedule is too hard, so you get a Power 5 opponent that I guess you should beat.
Yeah, they are throwing Jerry into the fire. Jerry knows what's happening.
Well,
he's throwing himself into the fire.
Right. He's helping to make the roster.
He's diving headfirst in.
So,
Also, guys, if you want to make the tournament, you got to beat good teams, and you got to give yourself the opportunity to make the tournament.
Yeah.
And
there's some financial benefits in playing games like this, too. It's all part of it.
Like, if you beat Rutgers and Providence, you're going to have... I don't know that Rutgers is going to be a quad 1 at a neutral site. It could be. If you beat Providence in Rutgers, you're going to have a better schedule, better record going into conference play than you had in 3 years under Red Autry, right?
Yes.
Those seem to be the two winnable of this.
I mean, the Tennessee win last year was pretty nice, but I guess they did lose to Hofstra.
Yeah.
So.
Well, no, but you only had one good win going into conference play. What I'm saying is, going into conference play, if you've got 2 wins in the non-conference against Power 4s, that's better than they've been.
Rutgers would have been a quad 2 last year.
Yeah. Okay. That's still...
Yeah. I don't know if a 10, I mean, it's like splitting hairs. I think it just depends on how good these teams end up being. Right now, we're all kind of guessing.
And to be fair, I don't know how good Rutgers is.
Yeah. Like Bart Torvik has them 81st in the country right now in these way too early rankings that I'm sure are going to fluctuate a lot more before we actually get to preseason rankings, official preseason rankings. But, you know, you look at the schedule right now, and I think Jerry has and the entire staff has done a nice job putting some games together that are going to get some eyeballs on the program and also kind of balancing, like we've got some tough games, we've got some games that we could win, and I think this Rutgers game probably has to be a win if they want to come out of non-conference play feeling good about, you know, your NCAA tournament chances, for sure.
This team is not what Jerry says they are. The schedule could ruin his first season. Yeah, it could ruin any coach's season. You've got to go out and play these games, guys.
Well, I was just going to say, you can't schedule, though, thinking, well, we might not be as good as I think we are. You have to schedule to try and make the tournament.
Yeah.
So this is the schedule you put together to make the tournament. You've got your ACC, and you've got to challenge yourself out of conference.
If they were
that is the formula to make the tournament.
Yeah, if they were going into the tournament undefeated and had only played cupcakes, they wouldn't make the tournament.
It would be used against. It was used against Miami of Ohio. The fact that they didn't play anybody and they had to win their conference tournament to get in. Now they still ended up getting in, even though they lost one game. But you have to. You can't schedule scared. Like you can't say
there won't be eyeballs on the first marquee game if they suck. No more eyeballs. That's not true.
That's not true.
That's not true because you guys keep watching.
Yeah, people aren't going to give up if they lose one.
Yeah.
You know, if they lose to St. John's at the Garden, people aren't going to give up because of that.
I guess to that guy, I would say, what do you want? Like, lay out your perfect schedule then. Because I feel like if you want to pick holes at any of the stuff, you can right now. And if you just want to be negative, you can be negative. But you got to schedule some tough games. You want Syracuse to be playing at MSG and be playing at TD Garden and places like that.
Listen, Michael Antonio, and I'm not calling him out. Because,
I am.
Well, no, I think he brings some good comments, but he says the Vegas tournament was the backbreaker, and then losing to Hofstra was the final nail. Coming out of Vegas, it obviously did not go well, but you beat Tennessee the next game, and then you started the ACC 3-1. Like you were starting to trend back in the right direction. The nail in the coffin was losing to BC. I mean, it started to go downhill with Hofstra and what happened in Vegas, but you got back on track with Tennessee. You were 3-1 in conference, and then you lost to BC, and then you went into the tailspin from there. You got to play these games because that is the formula to make the tournament.
Yeah.
What they have now, if they go 0-5, are they going to make the tournament? Probably not.
But they were going to make the tournament anyway.
Well, right. That's my point. But you have to play those games to give yourself a shot.
Yeah, you can win 22 games and not make the tournament. That doesn't make you a good team.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think
nobody's going to be happy. I'm at that point.
Right. The Vegas thing, you sign up for that again, honestly. Like last year, it just didn't. Obviously, they could have signed up for it again this year. They chose not to. But I don't think that was their flaw in missing the tournament last year, was playing Vegas. I think, if anything, that was a benefit. And it didn't go well because they drew a terrible third game. That was unfortunate. And they didn't have their best player, probably.
Stop it, Paul. 22 games will get you to expanded tournament music, man. Not if you don't play other Power 4 schools in your non-conference.
Yeah, you got to have wins.
Yeah, if Syracuse had played the equivalent of Drexel 5 times last year and went undefeated, then lost to Tennessee, say, instead, and then lost all their other games, they wouldn't have made the tournament, but they would have had a lot more wins.
Yeah.
Also,
even with the expanded tournament.
Let's take the numbers out of it for a second and what it does to your net ranking. You go into ACC play after playing all these lousy teams, you're going to get exposed. You're not going to be able to figure out what's wrong with you. Like, if you lose to St. John's, you learn from that. It's the same conversation we've been having with Gary Gates scheduling tough for lacrosse. They've played all these tough games, and now they're seeing kind of the dividends of that. They've been involved in these tough games and in fourth quarters all year.
Yeah, if people don't understand the benefit of playing these games, I don't know what to say. Like, there are a lot of benefits. It's exactly as you said. You're battle tested. There's a financial benefit to playing these games. There's a benefit when it comes to your net rankings. And to your point, Paul, if you win 20, 21 games, Paul, 20, 21 games or 22 games, whatever, and you don't have quad 1 wins, you're not going to make it, or you're going to make it as a team that's going to Dayton. So
Yeah, I don't
you
think
you gotta play these games.
I think people are overestimating how much of a difference this is going to make this expanded tournament. You don't know what conference is going to get these teams, and you don't know what seeds. So just go out and beat some power. Don't make a question of it. Go out, play some quad one games, and win them.
Yeah, I saw a bracketology the other day that had 8 ACC teams. Which what did they get? 9 last year. I mean, they're probably going to get 8 or 9.
Yeah,
and it's not going to change things dramatically. It does a little bit, but I think you're right, Paul.
Ask Greg Robinson how scheduling tougher. Do you really think the Greg Robinson problem was the schedule?
And again, to go back to Tim's point, they didn't make the tournament last year. It wasn't because of Vegas. It was again, Hofstra and BC were at the top of the list.
Yeah.
So, again, it's
each top conference will get 2 or 3 more schools. No. One conference might get 4 more and one might get 1. You don't know how it's going to break out. It's like that SEC a couple years ago where they got like everybody but 2. Yeah. You don't know that.
So there's 8 extra bids, and you got to figure that they're probably 2 are probably going to go to mid majors. The other 6, again, I'm generalizing here, but if it's broken down with 6 go to the power conferences, 2 go to the mid majors. That's 1 more for each of the top 5 power conferences, and then 1 left, like a wild card. So it's really probably 1 more per conference.
We literally had Wildhack out. He said they don't know how they're going to do it.
I mean, it's going to be case by case and different each year, I would assume. But I'm sure that they're going to try to get another mid major or 2 in, and then the rest go to the Power 5. So it's probably. Again, 1 extra bid per conference.
Yes, and it doesn't mean it's all going to be the ACC. It's going to benefit the ACC. It could benefit the Big East. Could benefit the Big 12. It could benefit the SEC. It's going to vary every year.
I mean, last year, I think Auburn and Oklahoma were the first 2 teams out. So, right? Yeah. So you're talking about the SEC getting at least those first 2, and then
maybe Wake Forest got in first.
Maybe.
Or something like that. It wasn't Wake Forest. I forgot who the closest. I mean, ACC got 2 into the play-in games last year, guys.
Right.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't necessarily going to benefit the ACC.
Again, I would just say to anyone that's criticizing this, lay out your schedule, and if you have a better solution, then we can talk about it. But
the reason Auburn was even on the bubble is because they played so many.
Yeah.
If quad 1 games. If
they were 1 game over 500.
If they had 22 wins, if they didn't have any quad 1
and I was just getting ready to say. Let's lay out the scenario. Okay, they win 22 games. They don't make the tournament. Think about how many phone calls we get. What was Jerry thinking with the schedule? Why did they schedule cupcakes? And that would be the reason.
Auburn played 17 games in quad 1. And they were, they finished 22-16, but I think I want to say they were 17-16 going into the tournament, going into the postseason.
NIT,
they ran the table in the NIT. But they played 17 quad 1 games.
If you've got the quad 1 wins, we'll get you in quicker than 22 and whatever with 1 or 2 quad 1s. It's the facts.
You got to play these games.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right, let's hit a timeout. 315-437-7644.
Do people know how the tournament works? Each top conference should negotiate to get a minimum. You can't negotiate to get teams in the tournament. It's not the college football playoff.
Well, Notre Dame's kind of negotiating a little bit, right? With their agreement that if they're inside the top 12, they automatically get in or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's college football.
Yeah.
Notre Dame likes to play by its own rules.
Yeah. But you're right.
That's not how the conference committee works.
All right, let's hit a timeout. Don't go anywhere, Tim. We got more today's business to get to on the other side. We're back after this on ESPN Radio.
You guys do the
No conference is going to allow another conference.
Did you do the Yankees update yet? Okay, we'll do that quickly.
We really didn't do much off the top just because we had Anish right away.
Yeah.
The ACC doesn't have money to withhold. What a nightmare. Thank God you're not in charge of the ACC.
Has anyone that was complaining thrown out their hypothetical schedule?
Did Steve and Tim correct me on what I just said, or did they agree with me? Say that. Answer that question.
We were dying out there when you were like talking to Paulie earlier, and you're like, "We'll just ignore them for a second." You and me talking. David and I were like, never heard that one. That was really good.
Focus, Paul.
Yeah. Just, they're over there. It's you and me.
No, we literally all agreed that 22 wins doesn't necessarily get you in, guys. We're
all in agreement here that they need to schedule some of these games. Would I have liked to see in a home game? Sure, but
Yeah,
I get it.
Gaper, I love how you have no grasp on the relationships or our lives whatsoever. If you have, okay, there are other Power 4 teams, guys. So if you're a 22-win team and you're a Power 4 school and you have 22 wins with 2 quad ones and Auburn had 17 wins, they're getting in over you. I'm sorry to explain that to you.
Indiana had 13 quad one opportunities and didn't get in with 18 wins.
Yeah, they would have gotten in over a 22-win, 2 quad one win team.
Yeah, this is like, we've already given this enough oxygen. Like, it's pretty
not
basic stuff. I'll never understand. It's like the Toronto game. People like, oh, why are they going to Toronto? Like, you also, there's a lot of benefit in playing in Boston, playing at Barclays Center. That Syracuse St. John's MSG is going to be a big rating. A lot of people are going to watch. That's good for the program.
If George Mason and Syracuse has a higher net ranking, Q should get, yes, over George. Are you listening to us? They would get in over George Mason, yes. They would not get in over Auburn.
He's arguing that net ranking means everything. That's basically what we're saying. You got to get your net ranking.
The stupid is shining bright today. I don't like drinking water, I've decided. Yes. Every major conference is protected. You still are going to need more than 2 quad one wins to get in. They will take an 18-win team over a 22-win team if they have a higher net and more quad one wins. Point over. Who is saying mid-majors are getting the advantage? Is Auburn a mid-major? Why am I down to one song? My hip's hurting again. Grandpa's getting old. I gotta do stretches. I gotta do my stretches. How do you just read this and not react to it?
What do you mean?
The chat, like, I don't know how you guys do it. I need you guys
to
to teach me your ways, Yoda.
All my life I've been searching for something.
There's a premature fire there, Steve. You ever have that happen to you when you're running the board?
Say that again.
Premature firing. I fired my music a little too early.
So just to clear something up, so I see Michael Antonio in the chat saying that I said that the mid-majors are going to have an advantage here. I'm saying that of the 8 extra bids, there may be another mid-major or 2 that gets a bid. Like, for instance, last year, San Diego State, first 4 out. San Diego State plays in the Mountain West. They are probably getting one of the bids last year. New Mexico was in the next 4 out. New Mexico probably would have gotten a bid last year. So of the 8 teams, as I said, like even just using last year as an example, and I've got the data in front of me right now. First 8 out last year: Oklahoma, Auburn, Indiana, San Diego State. One of those is a mid-major. The next 4 out: New Mexico, Seton Hall, Virginia Tech, Stanford. Again, New Mexico is a mid-major. So that would be 2.
He's saying that was under the old numbers. No, they still would have been.
What do you mean the old numbers?
They still would have been the same position this year as they would have last year.
I'm giving you last year. So what happened last year? If the tournament were 76 teams last year, not 68, 2 more mid-majors would have gotten in, 6 from the Power 5.
Yes.
That's what I was saying. And again, the numbers reflect that last year. When I said that, I didn't even have it in front of me. Now that I pulled it up in front of me, that's exactly what would have happened last year. So that's
one more ACC, Virginia Tech.
So yes, Virginia Tech. Well, Virginia Tech and Stanford. Using this example,
2.
ACC would have gotten 2 more. SEC would have gotten 2 more. Big 10 would have gotten 1. Big 12 would have been left out of this particular situation.
How many wins did LA Archers? How many power teams with 22 wins would have been left out? It depends on how many quad 1.
Seton Hall had 21, and Seton Hall, is a Power 5. Obviously, they play in the Big East. Seton Hall had 21 and did not get in.
Yes.
Stanford
That's
had
a lousy
20.
conference, yeah.
You need quad 1 wins. The reason Auburn was in the next 4 is because they had quad 1 wins.
Stanford had 20 wins and did not get in.
Yeah, you guys.
Yeah, the numbers haven't changed.
This isn't rocket ship science.
You're
got to win quad 1 wins.
Right, you got to get a good net ranking still, and we have talked about it ad nauseum lately, but the schedule dictates your net ranking. Like, everyone is scheduling these tough games.
Yeah, I still think people are stuck in the 80s. Like, if you get 20 wins, you're in. No, you can get in with less wins, but better quad 1 wins.
It comes down to your resume.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And so that's why you have to challenge yourself. That's why you have to play quad 1 games, so that your resume stacks up favorably to a San Diego State, for instance.
Yeah.
Do people forget that the ACC just took away a couple conference games for the very reason of we need more non-conference power conference opportunities to get our team in the tournament? And now Syracuse is doing that, and we're complaining about it.
I don't know what's going to make everybody happy.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't know.
Miami of Ohio lost 1 game last year and didn't get in because
they didn't play quad 1 games.
Yeah, people were worried.
Yeah, people didn't want to play.
Yeah.
People didn't want to play. And they, I think they had, they played 2 quad 1 games last year.
How about a Yankees update?
Sure.
Brought to you by the Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus. It is a Wildcat Wednesday, so think about our friends tonight over at the Wildcat Sports Pub if you're thinking about where to eat dinner tonight. Yankees just keep winning by the skin of their teeth and almost blowing saves. This time they went to Camilo Duvall, and he did get a save after inheriting some runners and a tough situation in the 9th inning. They won 5-4 last night. Ben Rice, by the way, 16 homers on the year. He had a go-ahead 2-run homer in the 5th inning. Him and Judge each have 16 or more homers now, and they are the first or the second Yankees duo to belt 16 or more homers before the team's 50th game, joining Yogi Berra and Mickey Mantle in 1956.
How about that?
It's your stat of the day. Yankees update, Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus.
A's picked up a big win last night, just letting you know. They're back on track.
Nice.
After a brutal loss the night before. No hitter into the 9th and then lost. But the A's are sitting pretty atop that division. 1 game up on the Rangers.
Paulie, should we double up? I can sense you're just reading the chat.
Do you ever
you're
just
not really
think
paying
that,
attention?
No, I was reading net rankings. Do you ever
over here?
I was reading net rankings. Do you ever just think that Jordan might have had it right? I might go work at National Grid. I would rather.
It's a little late to change.
I would rather argue with people about paying their bills. Kicker here.
Yeah.
All right. I got a couple. Steven, I blame you for this first one. It's a food-related one. Yeah. People are now adding berries to pizza, and it's because you're stupid. I like pineapple on my pizza.
I do.
You're ruining pizza for everybody.
It wasn't just pineapple. It was like broccoli.
Pineapple, broccoli, grilled
3
chicken.
things that don't go together unless it's teriyaki. Broccoli, chicken, and what?
Pineapple.
Pineapple, yeah. That's only teriyaki.
Yeah, it tastes good on a pizza, too.
No, it doesn't. It's a leftover sandwich.
Okay. So tell me about these berries.
Strawberry, blackberry, and raspberry are being added to pizzas now. You
That does not sound appetizing to me, but maybe why not? I mean, everybody's different.
Would you try that?
I would try it. Sure. I mean, I like those things. I like all of those fruits.
I love strawberries, but I don't think I'd try it on pizza.
I mean, I would try it. I don't know. It depends on who made it. Like if Steve said, "Hey, I just made a strawberry pizza," I'd probably lay off. But like if Dan from the Wildcat came in, it was like, "Hey, we got this new strawberry pepperoni pizza. You should totally
flying off the shelves."
Yeah, you should try it.
I mean, here's the thing. Like we talked about this the other day about Toss and Fire's got this salt potato pizza, and you wouldn't think like that would be good. It is phenomenal. It's cheese and salt potatoes and bacon, and it's awesome. So I don't know. Why not? To each their own.
Berry pie. Here we go. Major League Baseball is experiencing an epidemic, Steve, of guys being dudes. Apparently, there's this thing called the tarps off trend, where just whole sections take their shirts off and wave them. And it's now like being sold as the shirtless section. It's like, I guess it's a big thing in the soccer world.
Oh, okay.
And it's taking over after in MLB. Mariners, Seattle, Anaheim Mariners are in Seattle, and Philadelphia, Tampa Bay. It's happened. Detroit. So
Detroit and the Tigers, they're both doing it.
Yeah.
It's a cool story.
Yeah, so there you go. It's called tarps off. I would prefer to keep my tarp on at all times. I don't need to.
The rest of the fans are hoping for that too.
Mariners, Seattle, Detroit Tigers.
I caught myself, guys, and you're still ripping on me. I realized I was an idiot and said Seattle and Mariners. You don't need to pile on.
Okay.
You guys might as well just join the chat because you're being jerks.
Do we want to wrap this up now?
Yeah, I'm over this damn show. My net ranking is terrible.
Your level 5 energy is gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tim, what do you got coming up tonight?
Suffering a dip. Oh, we didn't even vote on an artist of the day.
Yeah, we got to do that.
All for one.
Oh, okay. Keep that thought.
Do we need the last song from Foo Fighters
no,
too?
Who cares? I deleted. All for one, ZZ Top, Fleetwood Mac, 9 Inch Nails, Leo Sayer, Tom Petty. Tom Petty, Leo Sayer, 9 Inch Nails, Fleetwood Mac, ZZ Top, all for one. I'm going to vote for somebody that probably you don't even know who he is. Leo Sayer.
I don't know who that is.
You make me feel like
I know that song. Okay.
Oh, really?
Any other songs besides that?
Yeah.
Would I know?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
He's very Paul Davis-y.
Oh, all right. I was going to go Fleetwood Mac.
So was I.
All right.
Winner.
Fleetwood Mac beat Leo Sayer.
What do you got coming up tonight, Tim?
Well, men's lacrosse just added another nice player from the portal, so I'll talk about that. Zach Amen from Bryant, one of the top midfielders in the portal class. So I'll tell you about him, where they stand in terms of the portal. To this point, women's lacrosse is making some waves in the portal too. And I'll dive into the latest basketball news, including the new center they have added, the new game against Rutgers, and also going to break down my 3 keys to the game against Notre Dame. This will be my final drive time of the week. Then I'm on the road.
Here tomorrow. We go. I'm going to do a new thing. What you missed out on by not voting for Leo Sayer. You know this one?
I do.
This is Paul Davis-y.
You want to change our vote, Tim?
No, too late.
I don't.
You know this one?
Let's change
like
our
this.
vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're changing our vote.
No,
we are.
you
we're
guys
changing our vote.
No, it's too late. No, I'm
it's
sure.
not. The show's still on. We change our vote. We're changing our vote.
No, we've already done it.
We're changing our vote.
No, and here we go. Final one. This is a new segment. What you missed out on. This is a banger. We're going to bump out with this one. Have a good day.